Hey yo guys, this is Jared, aka the Saint of Sins on Xbox Live, bringing you another edition of MLB Thoughts for Tuesday, May 8th, 2012. And as always, playing in the background is MLB 2K12, featuring the Oakland Athletics and the Boston Red Sox on Legend difficulty. Spoiler alert, I don't do very well in this game either. This one also comes down to me not figuring out the pattern to pitch breaking balls, which seems to be my #1 complaint of this game. I just cannot figure out how to get the placement of my breaking balls in the exact location I want them to break. But anyway, this video isn't about the gameplay so much as it is my opinion on the real baseball world. And yesterday was truly dandy for me as I finished the day going 9-4. My only fumbles on the day were picking the Phillies over the Mets, siding with the Diamondbacks over the Cardinals, liking the Tigers over the Mariners, and going with the Giants over the Dodgers. This now brings my picks to 50 and 46 on the month of May, and brings my season total to 228 and 206. Some notes to go over. Yesterday, the Yankees closer Mariano Rivera was examined by 3 doctors at 2 hospitals to determine where he will have his knee surgery. He was seen by team physician Dr. Christopher Ahmed at New York Presbyterian Hospital and by Dr. Russell Warren, a knee specialist at the hospital for special surgery. He was also looked at by Dr. David Alchek, who performed a shoulder surgery following his 2008 season. Rivera tore his anterior cruciate ligament and damaged the meniscus in his right knee last Thursday at Kansas City when he stumbled and fell trying to catch fly balls in center field during batting practice. Optimistically, many are claiming that he'll likely miss the rest of the season. Realistically, I think he's done for the year. He has made it known that he will return next season, but one has to wonder what's left in the gas tank of the 42-year-old right-hander. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Rivera, always have been since '96. And I can't imagine this being the reason he ends his career. He has been the most reliable closer in all of baseball's history, and thus far into this season has been tremendous despite blowing the opening game at Tampa Bay. At the time of his injury, Rivera was already sitting on a .216 ERA with 8 strikeouts in 8 1/3 innings pitched, with 5 saves and a .96 whip. The only 2 walks he issued during the entire season was during that blown save at Tampa Bay, in which he surrendered 2 runs on 3 hits. Since then, he's been almost perfect, surrendering an additional 3 hits scattered throughout his 8 innings. Currently, Rivera sits at the all-time leader of saves with 608 and would likely have surpassed 640 by the end of this year had he remained healthy. He is only one of 2 pitchers to collect more than 500 saves in their entire career, as the 3rd-ranked all-time leader in saves, Lee Smith, only has 478. It's not likely we'll ever see a more dominant closer in the game, and will probably be a long time before we see another pitcher even come close to the hallmark of 600. If Rivera were to retire after this injury, then the highest-ranked active leader of saves will be Francisco Cordero, who, at the age of 37 and in 14 seasons, has collected 329. Yesterday also saw the Miami Marlins stretch out their win streak to 7 as they pick up the shutout victory at Houston behind a complete game performance by Carlos Zambrano. What's truly of note here is during this stretch, Giancarlo Stanton has managed to hit .333 with a .438 on-base percentage and a .963 slug. Of his 9 hits, 2 of them were for doubles, while 5 left the ballpark. He's also driven in 8 runs and come across the plate 6 times. And unlike last month, he's showing a lot more patience at the plate as he's drawn 5 walks to his 4 in April. This is the kind of performance that the Marlins are going to need out of the young 22-year-old in order to be competitive in the National League East. Now all the Marlins have to do is wait on Jose Reyes to get his batting average up, get Hanley Ramirez to be more consistent at the plate, and see if Gaby Sanchez can actually put the bat on the ball again. By this time next month, I should see that the Marlins are no longer ranked 24th in runs, 26th in batting average, 24th in on-base percentage, and 22nd in slugging. If they are, then I don't imagine they'll still be playing .500 ball, nor will they be a direct threat to any wildcard contending teams. And speaking of team rankings, yesterday ESPN posted up their power rankings for the week, and toppling the list would be the Tampa Bay Rays. Rounding out the top 5 would be the Rangers at 2nd, the Dodgers in 3rd, the Nationals in 4th, and the Cardinals in 5th. Just missing the cut is the 19-9 Baltimore Orioles, who sit upon the league with the best record in baseball right now. They're listed as having trending upwards, climbing the ranks from last week's 12th spot. Trailing them in this order would be the Braves, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Tigers. And seeing as I like to talk about ESPN's power rankings during the week that John Kruk is analyzing, let's take a look at his top 5, which reads as the Rays in number 1, the Nationals in number 2, the Dodgers at 3, the Rangers at 4, and the Orioles rounding up the 5 spot. Normally I'd agree with him almost completely, but in this instance, I kind of stray away from both lists. At the moment, I believe the best team in baseball are the St. Louis Cardinals, despite dropping 2 in Houston. The reason I give them a pass here is because the Astros have actually proven to be a far more consistent offensive team than I thought. Taking up the second spot would be the Rays, followed by the Rangers, and then I get into a little bit of murky territory where I figure I might go with the Orioles here, or I give it to the Dodgers. As much as I love the Nationals and what they've been doing so far into the season, I can't in good consciousness put them in the top 5 simply because offensively, they're extremely weak. And as much as I want to give the Orioles props in this situation for doing something I thought they couldn't do, I still believe that the Dodgers are a better team than them, and that the Orioles haven't really beaten any big clubs. Their test is right now in this 4-game stretch against the Rangers. And should they hang on and actually take 2 games out of this series, I think that's a big victory for them. And realistically, I don't expect this trend to continue for them. Eventually, they're going to come back down to earth. They're more of a middle-of-the-road type of team, as right now, they rank 12th in batting average and 14th in on-base percentage. That's exactly where I expect them to kind of be. And pitching-wise, they're all over the place, ranking 2nd in ERA, 20th in quality starts, 7th in WHIP, and 11th in batting average against. But hey, let me know what you think. Leave your top 5 in the comment section below. And speaking about your opinions, I'm still waiting on you guys to actually tell me who you believe is your April American League starting pitcher of the month. For me, I think I gotta go with Jake Peavy. He simply had a tremendous start to the season. But let's talk about the National League and what their starting pitchers had to do for the month of April. We'll begin with the top 5 leaders in ERA, beginning with the number 5 spot, Houston's own Wandy Rodriguez. Pitching to a 1.72 ERA, he surrendered 10 runs, 6 earned on 26 hits, and 8 walks in 31 1/3 innings. Topping him is Kyle Loge, who's pitching to a 1.62 ERA, surrendering 6 runs on 22 hits and 33 1/3 innings pitched. Johnny Cueto comes in at the number 3 spot, pitching to a 1.39 ERA, surrendering 6 runs, 5 earned on 27 hits and 7 walks in 32 1/3. And coming in at the number 2 spot is Stephen Strasburg, who in 32 innings surrendered 4 runs on 22 hits and 6 walks, giving him a 1.13 ERA. And toppling the list with a .90 is Joe Saunders, who surrendered 4 runs, 3 earned on 19 hits and 7 walks in 30 innings. As for the top 5 leaders in WHIP, we'll begin with Clayton Kershaw, who saw 27 base runners, 20 reaching via the hit, in 30 1/3 innings pitched, giving him a .89 WHIP. Stephen Strasburg follows that up in the 4th spot, allowing 28 runners to reach base on him in 32 innings pitched, giving him a .88 WHIP. At the number 3 spot is Joe Saunders, who is pitching to a .87 WHIP, surrendering 19 hits and 7 walks in 30 innings. Kyle Loesch comes in at the number 2 spot, allowing 6 walks and 22 hits in 33 1/3, giving him a .84 WHIP. And sitting at the very top, with the best WHIP of them all, of .63, allowing 5 walks and 14 hits in 30 1/3, is Matt Cain. Quickly jumping over to the wins leaders, we see a 7-way tie at the number 3 spot between Corey Lupke, Tommy Hanson, Johnny Cueto, Ian Kennedy, Zach Greinke, Chris Capuano, R.A. Dickey, and Roy Halladay, who all have 3. To add a little depth to this, we see Tommy Hanson and Roy Halladay sit at 3 and 2, while R.A. Dickey, Zach Greinke, and Corey Lupke sit at 3 and 1, and the remaining pitchers of Johnny Cueto, Ian Kennedy, and Chris Capuano are perfect at 3 and 0. Tied at the number 1 spot is Madison Bumgarner and Kyle Loge, who sit at 4. Bumgarner has a 4 and 1 record, while Loge is absolutely sterling at 4 and 0. But again, we're looking at quality starts to break the tie. Of his 5 starts in the month, Bumgarner has 4 quality starts, while Loge had 5, which was the exact number of starts he had. And now for the strikeout leaders, We begin with a two-way tie at the number 5 position between Zack Greinke and Mike Minor, who both share 30. For the tiebreaker, we see that Mike Minor has an 8.27 K9 compared to Zack Greinke's 9.10. At number 4 is Vance Worley of the Philadelphia Phillies, who sits at 32 strikeouts in 32 innings. A two-way tie at the number 2 position between Washington Nationals teammates Steven Strasburg and Gio Gonzalez sees both sitting at 34. Strasburg in 32 innings is pitching to a 9.56 K9, whereas Gio Gonzalez in 29 2/3 has a tremendous and league-leading 10.31. And sitting at the top position is Chicago Cubs' Matt Garza, who in 32 2/3 innings pitched has fanned 36. Once again, I'm interested to hear what you guys think, so let me know who you think is the National League starting pitcher of the month of April. Now onto today's matchups and my predictions. Rolling really quickly, we'll begin in Baltimore as Neftali Feliz takes to the mound to face off against Jake Arrieta. I'll be picking the Rangers to take Game 2 of this 4-game series. The White Sox will send up John Danks to face off against the Indians' Justin Masterson in what I suspect will be an Indians victory. Yankees baseball in the Bronx tonight as they host their division rivals Tampa Bay Rays, sending up Ivan Nova to face off against James Shields. I like the Yankees to kick off this homestand with a victory. Miguel Batista takes to the mound to face off against Joe Blanton, and I'm liking what I've seen out of Blanton so far and will be siding with him and the Phillies to take Game 2 of this series. The Nationals travel up to Pittsburgh, sending up Edwin Jackson to face off against AJ Burnett. I'll be hoping for a Pirates victory in this one. The Braves will send up Randall Delgado to face off against Cubbies' Ryan Dempster. Although I'm still not impressed with Delgado so far, I will be expecting the Braves to open up their bats in a big way against Dempster. Anibal Sanchez will take to the mound to face off against Anuri Rodriguez, and I like the Marlins to extend their win streak to 8. The Royals will send up Danny Duffy in hopes to cripple the Red Sox chances of building off of yesterday's game as they face off against Daniel Bard. I'll be rolling with the Red Sox offense to pick up another victory in Kansas City. The Reds will send up Homer Bailey to face off against the Brewers' Giovanni Gallardo in Milwaukee. I like the Reds for this matchup. The Twins will send up Scott Diamond to face off against Dan Herron in what I suspect will be an Angels victory, while in Arizona, Jake Westbrook will take to the mound to face off against Ian Kennedy. After getting burned yesterday, I've learned my lesson and will be sticking with the better team in the Cardinals. In what I hope will be a tremendous pitching duel in Oakland, Ricky Romero will take to the mound to face off against Brandon McCarthy in what will likely be a Toronto-edged victory. The Rockies will send up Alex White in San Diego to face off against Jeff Suppan, and though I don't plan on making this a habit for the remainder of the season, I'll still be picking with the Padres. In Seattle, the Tigers will send up Justin Verlander to face off against Kevin Millwood, and although Verlander's the better pitcher, I'll still be siding with the Mariners to slightly edge out the Tigers in this game. And finally, the Giants will send up Ryan Vogelsong to face off against the Dodgers' Clayton Kershaw, and I like this matchup for Kershaw to pick up his 3rd victory of the season. That's going to do it for this edition of MLB Thoughts. I will see you guys later. Peace.